Hello, welcome to Maisha Prime Women Talk, where real women engage. Thank you for choosing the award-winning TV station Maisha Television Kenya for this broadcast. You can talk to us via our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and Twitter at Maisha TV KE. Our studio number is 0746 999 You can text, call, or WhatsApp that number. And thank you so much to our viewers who have been engaging us through our studio number. We really appreciate your feedback. Thank you for those who have been appreciating and saying thank you for the program. It's helping them. We are really humble and appreciate that. So you can do the same: text, call, or WhatsApp that number, which is 0746 999 My name is Rida Kering Chebet, and I'm not alone in studio. I'm with two amazing ladies, and just let me give you a brief of who they are so that and how relevant they are to our today's topic, so that you can take their advice seriously. We have Sarah Murithi, who is a wife. She is a mother of two boys. She is a counselor, church leader, and above all, she is a business lady. So she is an empowered woman, and she knows the family life and also the working life. Then we have Irene Mumbo Bushebi joining us via video. She is a pastor, she is a counselor, she is a wife as well, and a mother to girls and one boy. So you can also know that you can see that Irene also, she is in the church, and also she is a family lady. So make sure that you take something from these two amazing ladies, Sarah and Irene. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you.
And welcome, Irene.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
In this show, just a word to our viewers, then Irene, prepare, you will do the same.
Hi viewers, I wish to welcome you to this show, and I'm glad that you're always there for us, always watching and always giving us a positive feedback. And I'm sure by the end of this show you also gain something that is going to help you in your life. Yeah.
Irene, a word to our viewer before we begin the show.
Thank you so much, viewers. We love you as always, and we wish you all the best as you listen to this wonderful and amazing show. Thank you so much, and have a blessed time as we share together.
Today's topic is the role of a man and a woman in marriage. I know we covered something similar to that, but we only talked about the role of a woman as a wife and the role of a woman as a mother. So today we are going to include the man here, the role of a man and a woman in a marriage. As we begin this conversation, as always, we'll just start with the definition of a family or a marriage. So Sarah, what is a family, just in a layman's language?
I would say that a family is a composition of a man and a woman and children. And this man, we call him a father, a husband, and this woman, we call her a wife and a mother. So that is what we call a family. And a family is formed through marriage. Remember, marriage is between two people, and it is a covenant. Marriage is a covenant.
Yes.
So simply that is a marriage, and we have the nuclear family, whereby we have the father, mother, and children.
Yeah.
And we have the extended family, now where you have the grandparents and the uncles and the aunts and the cousins. Yeah.
Irene, what is a family?
I would say a family is a unit that brings together people, that is a husband and a wife and the children. So it's just a small thing like that, and that is what I want to describe it to be, so that we don't go beyond the boundaries. Thank you.
And as much as you're describing a family as that union between the father, mother, and children, we will not ignore this, because at the moment we have countries where we have a father and a father who is a mother, who is the family. We have a mother and a mother forming a family, and actually they get children maybe through surrogate mothers or through adoption. How can we describe that?
We can call it a family as they are calling it, because to them it is a family, but our traditions, we know that that is not what we would call a family.
Yes.
Because when you go back even to the foundation of the family by the creator, and that is God, he created man and woman. He didn't create woman and woman. He didn't create man and man.
Yeah.
And now, okay, we have those families that you adopt, but I cannot say that a father and a father are making a family, but not because they chose to be a father and a father, we cannot go against their values. But a family that was intended by God, it is a wife and a husband. That is a man with his unique different organs, and a woman with her unique different organs. Yeah.
Irene, what do you say on that? We have a mother and a mother who wanaita mom and mommy, dad and daddy. Is that a family?
So you mean we have a family where we have a father and a father, a mother and a mother? Or what do you mean?
Because at the moment there are those people, there are some countries which allow same-sex marriage, and we have two fathers with a kid, either adopted or gotten through a surrogate mother. Is that a family?
Not really. That is not the intention of God. What we know is one, and because this issue of family comes from when two people get married, and then they live together as a husband and wife. So when it comes to a point where somebody introduces a same sex, as in a man and a man, or a woman and a woman, I don't think, and I really don't know what they're talking about or what they mean. As much as they'll bring a child, adopt or get a surrogate mother to get them a child and all that stuff, I don't really call that a family. These are some of the things that people have come up with, and they've decided that this is what they want because of their own perceptions and all that stuff. That is about them. But what a family is where we have a father, we have a mother, and then we have those children. And even if we might not have children because of issues that maybe cannot be avoided, we've seen even this in time immemorial, families that we would call them a family, but they don't have no child. And this is something we cannot explain. But when it comes to that, we can still call this a family because it is the husband and the wife. But where we have a man and a man, or a woman and a woman, that one, to me, I cannot call it a family because I really don't know where this comes from, and I really can't tell if there is any compatibility looking into what a husband and a wife brings together, which is very different from what a man and a man, or a woman and a woman will bring together. So for me, that is not a family.
Well, you've heard it from Irene and Sarah. Now, moving on to our today's topic, the role of a man and a woman in marriage. Let me start with you, Sarah. Are there specific defined roles for a man and a woman in marriage? Let's start first from that before we break it down.
When you look at our traditional setup, yeah, there are those set roles that should be of a man, should be of a woman. For example, the man was seen as the sole breadwinner and decision maker of the family.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you find that a woman is one who takes care of the husband. She cooks for the husband. She makes sure that the clothes are ironed. She takes care of her children, and she takes care of the home, makes sure that the home is clean, the home is tidy. She's one who welcomes the visitors into that house. So traditionally, there were those set roles that we grew knowing that this role belongs to the man and this role belongs to the wife.
Yes, same to you, Irene. Are there specific defined roles for the husband and specific defined roles for the wife?
Yeah, I would say yes. Looking into how even the way we are created as a husband and a wife, we know that there are those things that can only be done by a man, and those things that can be done by a woman. Those ones there, But yet still, when now we come to the family setup, we know that there are those roles that, okay, yes, we can say this is for the mother, this is for the woman, this is for the man, and this is not on a very tight line that, this is what the husband has to do or the wife has to do. I know, because they come together as one. We can't say that one of us cannot do the other, because we really don't know. Maybe along the line, one of us gets to leave the family. Okay, God forbid, death is something that we can't avoid. So when it comes in, then who plays this role? I believe I know where now the husband or the wife steps in to play roles that maybe are not hers or his, simply because now the other person is not there. And it's not that we say that if this is the case, then we cannot talk about the specific roles. We still talk about these specific roles, but we know that we are so flexible to a point where we can help each other when it comes to this role. So I know we'll be mentioning all the roles, the different roles that we play as husband and wife. But what I would want to say is that, yes, specifically there are roles that a man can play and that a woman can play, depending on the way maybe we are created or the way God designed us. And then again, depending on the fact that, we have to help each other. So we always take what is really easy and flexible for the rest of us, something that will help each one of us to see this family running forward well.
Talking about that, let's just go back to creation in the Christian perspective. We saw that God created the man, and then he created the woman later as a helper. And also, I think in the letters in the Bible, they say that the man is the head of the home, then the woman, of course, she is a helper. But in our current generation, we find that the head of the home is being described differently, maybe because the woman anaona yeye ndio provider, yeye ndiye anachangia mingi zaidi kwa familia kushinda yule mwanaume. Can you say that also this mixing of roles is a kind of way breaking marriages or causing disunity, because the woman will not respect the husband if she's the one paying rent, she's the one paying school fees, she's the one buying foods in their home. Sarah, do you think that this mixing of roles is also causing some troubles?
I believe it is causing trouble in marriages. And coming back to what you've just said about the creation and the man being the head of the family, it is actually true. And women, we should not be confused by being favored by God and having businesses and now taking charge of our families, because we cannot go above the man. Remember, actually, in the Bible, we are told that man is the royal priest of his home.
Yeah.
A woman is not the royal priest of that family. It is the man. So the man should safeguard his family. He has a role to safeguard his marriage so that it does not break into pieces because of the woman being the breadwinner. These two people, because like I began by saying that marriage is a covenant between two adults. They should sit down and they say, now that you are earning and you are earning much money, you are doing it for the good of the family.
Yeah.
We should not have competition between a husband and wife. You can have competition with the outside world, but not with your partner.
Yeah.
Your partner is to be flexible and you have similar roles in it. So you agree that if a man is earning less and a woman is earning more, that does not mean that she becomes the head of that family. Although you are married to a man who has nothing to offer, he still remains the head of that family, and you should see him as such. And the men, they should not forget that for them to maintain their marriage, one, however much little they are earning, they should bring it on the table to cater for the family.
Yeah.
And he should not give his role to another person. He should ensure that he still remains the head. So it is as women we realize, yes, we are gifted differently.
Yeah.
Could be because of your education and you're in a company and this is the skills that you're having, they raise your grade and they also raise your salary. That doesn't mean now that the way you tamper on people in the workplace, that is what you're going to do to your husband. And if I go back to the topic of submission, we agreed however much a woman is earning, she should still be submissive to the husband because the husband remains the head of the family. And that is was given by whoever began this marriage life, and that is God, our creator. So there are those who are announcing that because they are not allowed like the man, they are way much higher above the man, and that is wrong. They are going to break that marriage. And for the marriage not to break, woman earning much than the husband should surely know that, yes, I am earning much to complement my family income or my husband's income for the sake of our children, for the sake of our family. Yeah.
The same to you, Irene. Don't you think that, Ama, do you think that this mixing of roles where we have at the moment some women earning more than their husbands are causing some troubles in marriages?
Yeah, there's trouble that is caused, yes, but I don't. I think it's just something that people are trying to also come up with to fit, the current situation that they are in, But I can't say, for example, if maybe the man is taking care of the children at home, doesn't mean that the next time the man is the one who is going to give birth to children. You know, you see, he's just assuming a responsibility for a while, or as things just the way I've described it, that you know what, we are here as a family, and so we are helping each other. Wherever you see that the other person is not able, you lift them up. And looking into what really God came up with, or what was there when God brought up the institution of marriage, He did say it very well that you know what, the woman is a helper to the husband. So when He said this, it meant that yes, this work belongs to the man, but I'm just bringing in somebody to help this man. You see, and in terms of helping, let's take for example when you have a house help in your home, as much as she's most of the time she or he is doing a lot in that family, that does not mean that house help starts becoming the owner of that house, or the woman, or the husband of that home. What it means is that this person just came in to help, and so because she or he is helping, then we take that person as the helper there, and so whatever responsibilities that come up, she or he will be given. So going back to the family, I'm saying, yes, it might bring trouble, but it's just our own making. But at the end of the day, what we need to know is that everybody has their responsibilities to play. And if you're helping each other, you don't assume the other person's position. You don't change to be a man simply because you're providing. You see this? Yeah, you remain to be a woman, as much as you're providing. I know somebody is seated there and wondering, what are you talking about? I'm the one paying the bills. I'm the one doing everything. This man is just here. Yes, God brought you there because He knew that maybe this man was not going to do what needed to be done. So you are here to do it. So why start becoming a man? Utakuwa mwanaume pia wewe utakaa hapo sasa. So what we are saying in essence is, please, when this thing comes calling, it means God had a reason. I know there's somebody who doesn't believe in God, yes, but okay, let's say situations have just changed. And this does not mean that we are also changing. There is trouble, yes, boiling every time we find that the woman becomes the provider in our home. But this is how it is, and that's why you are brought in as a helper. Yeah, we know this is the responsibility of a man, as we can define the roles. But this does not, because you're providing, now you become the man. No, even in the running of everything, you'll find that you cannot be a man. You can only be a woman. That's the much we know. Yeah, so the fact that you're providing is just an added advantage. God has just privileged you to do this, and so we can say you're getting a double portion of this, because at the end of the day, if we don't take it that whatever God has given us to do, or whatever, it is the setup as it comes our way so that there's a reward for what we are doing, you see. So then you can be doing what a man would have done, then the reward for the man and for the woman would be there for you. I think if we start looking at it in that deeper perspective, it would even give us an easier way of doing everything. Yeah, so yes, there's trouble that will be boiling up. It changes everything in the setup of the family, but it doesn't mean that now you become the other person simply because you're taking up their role. You are helping and you're assisting.
Thank you so much, Irene, for that, and Sarah. And as we move on, still on the topic, the role of a man and a woman, you can talk to us. Our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and Twitter at Maisha TV KE, and our phone number is 0746999841. You can talk to us. You can text, call, or WhatsApp that number and be part of this conversation. As we wind up this first part, or this first segment of Maisha Prime Women Talk, there is the role of uniting the family and keeping the family together. Most of the times, it is usually said that in case of family breaks, sana all the wrongdoing is given to the man, who is responsible to keep the family together between the wife, the husband, and the children.
It is the man. The man has a responsibility over his family. The man has a responsibility to ensure that his family remains united. And this is by ensuring that your first love to the wife.
Yeah.
And he also give decision that are good for the family. He doesn't have to hurt the family. And by being responsible, I mean that he should take care of that family and meet the needs of his family. Make sure that the woman is well loved, the woman is respected, the family is provided for with basic needs and even those luxurious needs if possible. And when it comes to some disagreements, before the man is quick to pass the blame onto the wife, he should first be a good judge in this situation, whereby he sits down with his wife and they talk and look into what is bringing trouble into the family. So that if he is, let me tell you, Chebet, something. For the family to break, the man is the one who contributes. Mostly, not even this woman. Because what happens is, there is something this man is doing or not doing that is making the woman feel angered. And now the woman will just react to what the man has just done. She must be feeling there is something that this man is not meeting in this family. And that's why I agree that the role of keeping the family together is solely for the man. Who went for the girl? It is the man.
Yeah.
And when the man brings this girl into the home to become a wife, he should base it on love. And now he should be able to realize that he is solely responsible for his woman.
Yeah.
And if they bring in children, again, he's one who is responsible for these children. The man is here to help. We are helpers. We are good managers. We manage our homes for our husbands. But if you don't give me any ground to manage, how will I become a good manager? So the men should realize for the marriages to start, it is them to either break it or to either make it start. It is not the woman. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. It is the role of a man to keep his family together. Irene, I like your view on that.
Yeah, yes. The man, we know always he's the head of the family. And when you're the head or you're the leader, most of the time, everybody's focus is on you, because anything failing, it's about you, because you are the leader. But something I've also realized about this is that as much as you're a leader, the leader is always at the top there, but the person or the people who are working so much are the people down here, you know. So as we would want to look at this man as the leader, we would also want to look at who is in the kitchen preparing everything about this man being, you know, in the lead. So, and this is where now we can't separate these two people, the husband and the wife, as much as we would want to delegate the responsibilities. Here comes a point where you find that we can't separate each other. We can always interchange these responsibilities depending on what we want, and also depending on how good we want our family to come up, you know. So when we talk about the man has the responsibility of putting this family together, we know that there's somebody who's really working very hard behind the scenes, and this is the woman. So if this one is not working so hard and just thinking we're going to look into the man and say he's the leader of this family, then everything is going to fail. Are you seeing this? So yes, I would say yes, the man is charged with the responsibility of bringing the family together, but do you know who is working? The woman. So here we find that it is about the two of us. As much as we would want to say this is the role of so and so, I know that those very specific roles, as I was saying about creation, but when it comes to now bringing up this thing called family, then we realize that no one would really separate themselves from the other and say, you know, this is my role and I'll stick to it. No, one person would be playing their role with the assistance of the other person that is not seen in this role. Are you seeing that? So as much as I would want to say the man is the one charged with the responsibility of now, you know, bringing out this family and putting it together and making sure that everything is running, there is somebody who really works so hard. And if you don't do your part right, the woman out there, let me tell you, as much as we would want to look at the man as the leader, everything will still come down. You see? So this is my take about this, that yes, on a general view, we're gonna say it is the man who is supposed to bring the family together, but somebody working so hard in this is the woman. Are you seeing that? So this is something that can be done. You know, you can be praying for your family. You can be making sure that, you know, the husband is in a good position where when he presents himself as the leader of the family, everybody will look at him and say, okay, for sure, we're gonna listen to this man. Are you seeing this? We've just been talking about, you know, this thing of, you know, maybe the woman is the one who is the provider here. Once you're charged with that responsibility, maybe of being the provider of this family, and it's not the man, know that you are not going to do it profound. I mean, you coming out like, you know, I'm the one who is providing. You'll be doing it down behind the scene, so that you give the man, you know, that platform of presenting himself as the provider of the home, as much as it is you who is doing it. I'm not saying this to really push down the women, but I'm just advising on what will help this family run as a unit and help it to stand as the family would want to look into.
Well, thank you so much, Irene, also for that. You're bringing the aspect of also the woman working behind to make sure that the family is united. You're watching Maisha Prime Women Talk, where real women engage. My name is Rita Kering Chebet, and with me in studio to help discuss these family matters is Irene Mumbo Bushebi, together with Sarah Murithi. We are taking a short commercial break, but keep talking to us. Our social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Maisha Television Kenya, Instagram and Twitter at Maisha TV KE. Our phone number is 0746 999 841. You can text, call, or WhatsApp that number, and we will definitely engage you. We are going for a short commercial break. Don't go away.
Three young people who scored more than 350 marks from poor families in Lamu County.
They said it is a time to put political differences aside.
The CS further lauded the efforts of police officers in the last 100 days.
The leaders affirmed their party has a close relationship with the president.
A strong woman knows she has strength enough for the journey. But a woman of strength knows it is in the journey where she will become strong. Join Irene Mumbo Bushabi and Rida Kering on Prime Women Talk every Wednesday from 8 p.m. exclusive to MTV. This is the place where it all happened. The stories that continue to change our country.
And at present, we have got one student who is now at a BBC World Service working.
These are the faces we see.
Business Studies
is Madam Susi Masaba,
Walter Panuswabire,
Usolo Shem Bilembo,
the voices we hear.
Glad you're tuned in. You're still tuned in to Maisha TV. Now every day here on Maisha Prime News, we air feature from different schools across the country
that have revolutionized societies through education. This is who we are. One channel, one bulletin. Masomo News Live. Join us every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. for Masomo News Live, exclusive to Maisha TV. Hii ni stesheni iliyochaguliwa kuwa bora zaidi na kupewa ushindi wa kuzaa na kitengo cha mawasiliano cha serikali.
And the winner is Maisha TV. Maisha TV.
Stesheni inayokuwa kwa kasi. Stesheni inayokujali mtazamaji.
You can trust the award-winning TV station.
Stesheni inayojali mwananchi wa Kenya.
Biashara imeanza kudidimia sana, unapata customer wanalia.
Stesheni inayotoa mafunzo, maelezo na taarifa kwa kina zaidi.
Maisha Prime, Maisha Television, Millicent Luamba, Maisha Prime News.
For Maisha Prime. For Maisha Prime.
For Maisha Prime Education Segment.
For Maisha Prime News.
Hii ni runinga ya Maisha.
All right, welcome back. You're watching Maisha Prime Women Talk, where real women engage. My name is Rita Kering Chebet. Thank you so much for staying with us. You can talk to us on social media platforms, Facebook and YouTube. It's Maisha Television Kenya. Then at Twitter and Instagram at Maisha TV KE. Our studio number is 0746 999 You can text, call or WhatsApp that number, and we will definitely get back to you. We're talking about the role of a man and a woman in marriage, and as we were going for a break, we talked about who is responsible for uniting the family, and Sarah said it is the man because he is the head of the family, and Irene seconded that and also added that as much as it is the man, there is a woman behind the man who is really working to keep that family together. So we are continuing this conversation, and at the moment I will also like to talk about the responsibility of a man to his wife. Let me start with you, Sarah. What is the responsibility of a man to his wife?
The responsibility of a man to his wife is one, love. He must love this wife, or fears and love her proper. Two, another responsibility is provision. The man should provide to the needs of the woman. That is emotional needs, and that is basic needs. You ensure that your woman is well kept. You ensure that your woman is well groomed, and you ensure that she's given security. And the man should also make sure that in provisional security is whereby that the woman feels she's married to the right man who respects her needs, respect her thoughts, respect her decisions, and this man can also die for the wife. Like I like saying that when you see a woman with a mistake, you don't go telling the whole world you married a fool. You must shield your wife from the outside world, and the outside world means even your in-laws. They should not know the weakness of your wife. That is your responsibility, to protect her from the outside world, because at times when we are vulnerable, we get into a marriage not even knowing what we are supposed to do. But we find somebody who is ahead of us, and he should train us, he should teach us what he wants and what he wants it to be done. A man should offer leadership to the family. Like Irene said, that a man is the leader of that family. So he should offer good leadership, and this leadership should be offered through communication. Let the man be able to communicate to the wife and communicate proper. And you normally see that marriages fail because of lack of communication. So when you are a good communicator to the wife, this woman is going to understand even your feelings. She's going to understand what you really want from her. And he should also be able to provide everything, material things, to this woman or to this wife, so that the wife does not feel neglected and go outside somewhere to compensate for what the husband is not giving. So the man has quite a responsibility towards the wife. And when he meets all those responsibilities, I am telling you, the family is going to remain as one, not as two, because he is a leader and he has been able to offer the leadership to the wife. He is a provider and he has been able to provide to the wife. You know, wanasemaga mwanaume ni kuhaso. So I expect that a man will not sit down and wait for the wife to go out there and bring and provide. He should really hustle, and the wife is really seeing the input that the man is trying to bring into that home, such that if her income is good, she'll also now bring it in to help the husband without putting boundaries. So a man's role is to make sure that he provides emotional health, physical health to this wife.
Well, Irene, what is your perspective on that? What is the responsibility of a man to his wife or a husband to his wife?
Okay, I think if I've gotten you right, is that what is the role of this husband to the wife specifically? Yeah, so this is to say that the husband here, he has to get his responsibility right. And I think the first thing is that the husband has to love the wife. You know, the wife needs to be loved. And when we talk about loving here, I know we are putting everything together, where I think Sarah has been talking about the provision, you know, the leadership. You know, that is somebody taking authority in everything that has to be done in a home. Because as we find out is that the woman was brought in to be the helper, the person who is helping. And what is she helping? She's helping with something that somebody had already been assigned. You know, the husband had already been assigned. You'll see God talking to the first man and telling him what to do. And we don't find God anywhere talking to the wife or the woman on what to do. So it means the wife had to learn from the husband. So the responsibility of this man is to also teach this wife what you know, the husband wants the family to look like. So this is where we've seen things not going very well, because the husband assumes that the woman knows what she needs to do. You see, that is not the case. You really need to teach. As a man, you really need to now tell this woman, yes, you've come as a helper. This is what you're going to help me do. And now, this is where also as women sometimes we mess it up, because we come and then it is us now who want to tell the men what they need to do. You see? So we get to reverse the roles ourselves because we want to fit into whatever situation that we are in. But the thing is, if we can just follow up on what really God did in terms of setting up this institution, he brought everything and said the man will do this. You find it in Genesis 2, I think, and 15, talking about, you know, the man, you're going to tend the garden, you're going to take care of the garden. Why was the man taking care of the garden? To make sure that this woman is in a place that is, you know, as beautiful as it's supposed to be. And then that garden was going to produce something for the family, that is in terms of food. Are you seeing that? So there's provision in it, there's protection in it, you know, there's everything that the woman would want. And so when we go back to, you know, the man loving the wife, then it means, you know, everything has to be put in place. The man can do can get into the depth of the sacrifice of it to see that the woman is at peace in this, you know, family setup. And when we talk about this, we find that the woman will also not just sit there and wait to be protected, wait to be, you know, everything be done for her. We've seen that in many occasions, it's even like it's the women who are doing the bigger portion of it. Do you know why? It's because we are assuming the man is the one who is giving out these instructions on what needs to be done. And so the woman is effecting what has been given. You see, so she's like an enforcing officer in this whole setup. So the responsibility now of the man here is to make sure that he is leading this woman in the right direction. And you know, the best thing that we've always found out is that if you want to learn something, you learn through examples. That is, you see what the other person is doing and then you do it. So when the woman will see what the husband is doing, she's gonna do it. But what happens in most families, it's always the other way around. It's like, you know, what is the woman bringing on the table, as in terms of what is she doing, you see? So we look much into what this woman is doing and forget that whatever she's doing is supposed to be a reflection of what the man did show her to do. So most of the time we say, oh, this woman is doing this. To me, before we start complaining about this woman is doing this, that is a reflection of what the husband is showing her. So the next time you want to start complaining about this woman, whatever she's doing, can you look at the husband? What are you showing this woman? What is the example that you're giving her? So we can trace what she's doing to what you've taught her to do. Are you seeing? So I know it gets a little here, and everybody is not gonna be well with me, but this is the truth of it. This is how it's supposed to be, and that is why we're talking about responsibility, so that we should know. We should put our cards together. Don't start complaining about this woman is doing this to me. What did you teach her to do? Because you are the head, you are the authority. You know, whenever there is authority, everybody, you know, gets under that authority. We are in this umbrella, and this umbrella is the husband. So this husband, what is it that he is, you know, using to cover this family? That is what we're talking about in terms of protection. So whatever the husband gives to the wife is what the wife is going to give to the children. So you see, and that is why I was saying it's not very easy to separate these two people. As it has been put together, it means these people have to be running as a complete thing, you know, a set. That is like a phone without a SIM card will not just work. It will be a phone there, it is be very useless. So the two of us must run as one thing. We must be a system that is working. So it's working like everybody has to take their part seriously, and then if you have to give something to the next person, then you have to give it to that person to do it, knowing that maybe it was you who was supposed to do it, but you're just delegating to that person. Are you seeing this? So when I'm talking about the responsibility of a man to the wife, I'm talking about generally just loving this wife. And when we talk about the love, we are talking about you are ready to lay down your life. What is laying down your life? It means, you know, you can be seeing the worst part of this woman, but you have the responsibility of making this woman to be who she needs to be. And we see this problem starting right down there when the husband was charged with the responsibility of being the leader. What happened? The man left the woman to be roaming around, and then the woman met somebody else, and this somebody else gave her the instructions that she needed, and she followed them to the latter. How are you saying that? And everything broke loose. So it's still happening today. People just think that, you know, this thing happened in the Garden of Eden. It's happening even today. The moment the husband stops doing their responsibility, somebody else will teach these women what to do, and they'll do it. We are very good in following instructions and examples. So please, man, make sure that you take care of this woman, being responsible and doing your part of it. That is, love this woman. When I talk about love, I'm not talking about those sweet things that you say to each other. I'm talking about the sacrifice that you have to offer here. You know where she's not right, but you can stand out and, you know, help her to, you know, make this thing into what it's supposed to be. That is, as we usually say, it's a raw material in your hand, man. You can make it into what you want. The product depends with you.
Thank you, Irene. And you talked about us women trying to impose some of our values or some of our suggestions to the man. When it comes to correction, reminding and advising our husbands, how can women do this without being bossy or nagging?
One, we should be patient with our men, and we should try to understand the type of man I'm married to. We normally keep saying that we have different personalities. There is that slow thinker. There is that that man, before he takes an action, he is just too slow. There is that man you talk to and you think he's not listening, but actually he is listening and digesting. There is that person you are going to talk to and immediately he has put the dots together and realize what you want to say, and he's going to act immediately. So what we as women should know is, first one, learn our men. If you see your man is slow at acting and you are quick at acting, do not think now that is a weakness and you are going to outdo him or you are going to boss him around because he's slow at that. You should understand him the way he is. You should love him the way he is. If you give a decision and you see that he has not worked on it, before you say, I've talked to you and you have not even responded, give him time to see whether he is going to respond. And if he doesn't respond immediately or before the end of the day, could be he is going to respond even tomorrow. So let us not boss the men because of our different personalities. I don't know, without those different personalities, the family unit cannot even be sweet. Like I said some times back here, you are married to a quiet man and yourself you are quiet. How would that family be? I'm sure it will be so boring. And then you bring children who are also quite like their parents. So we'll be starting the conversation. So we should not use our strength to put our men down. We should use our strength to put our men up. And the first is just understanding your man and being patient with your man. Impatient again is what is killing families. Because you want to say, I want a phone today, I do want that phone today. You do not know where the man is going to bring to get the money, or you do not know his pocket and the budget that he has for that day. So that's just an example. I want, as women, when you realize the weakness of your man, you don't work on it for the negativity. Work for it, for the positivity of this family, because a woman and a man makes a family unit.
Yeah.
And unless the two of us understand this, women, we are going to break our own marriages with our own hands, and we are going to blame it on our husbands and our friends or our relatives. Yet it is us women who initiated the breaking of this marriage, because we want to boast our men because we have realized there is like a weakness. And this weakness is what we want now to use to bring our men down.
Yeah.
And normally say a coin has two sides, a coin. So as a human being, we have our weakness and we have our strength. And each should complement each other. There is none should be used to bring down the other. In fact, they should be used to bring the best out in a person. So a woman should not boss a man because she's always providing more money into that family. She shouldn't. She should not boss the man because she's a caretaker of the home and the children, such that she stays with the children a whole day and the father is with the children just at the night, and now she thinks she has more of a right to the children than the husband. And so she can separate the children from the husband because she feels like she's always in charge, not the husband. We shouldn't do that for the sake of the marriage. Because I'm sure when we are getting into marriage, we do not come into a contract whereby we said we are trying it out. If it doesn't work, we are going to quit ways. Or we are going to be in this marriage for 3 years, and when the 3 years are done, we are going to quit ways. We have come here because there's something that has attracted each other to one another. And that is what Chebet, a woman, should cultivate to make her marriage work, to make her family stand. So women should not boss their men around because there is that weakness that they have seen in their men. They should try, and that weakness of their men, make it a strong point. You can highlight it to your man and say, here, the way I see you behaving, it is not adding value to the family. And what if you behave in this way, it is going to add value. And you do it with a lot of love. There's how you start a conversation without intimidating somebody or without putting somebody down, and you put your point across. And this man is going to realize he has been corrected in a very loving way. And he's going to continue respecting the wife. So women, we should always try and put our language right. The way we communicate to the head of the family. If we want our marriage and our family unit to remain one.
A good point there from Sarah. The same to you, Irene. When it comes to advice, suggestions, how should women do it without being bossy?
Okay, so what you're saying is that how can a woman bring out their suggestions and ideas, without bringing problems into the family? Is it? Okay, so what is here is that, mostly I know women, we are so fast in whatever we want done, and always we like, if I bring out something, then this is what needs to be done because maybe I understand this family much more. But as we've been talking through this conversation, we realize that we need each other. And when we need each other, it means everything that we are doing, we have to do it from a perspective of, sharing out and getting an integral point where each one of us fits well, and then now we come up with a product that is fitting for the two of us, you see, so that it doesn't look like I'm better than you, or it's me who can bring up those things that can really help. As much as it is something that is going to help this family, whenever you want to bring it out, please make sure that you're bringing it out in a way that it doesn't really look like you're forcing your way through, because as we've also seen is that we have responsibilities, and these responsibilities also define our position so much in terms of this family, such that when you want to bring out something, please consider also what is your position in the family. When I'm saying this, I'm not saying that we are intimidating the women so that they look like they're inferior to the to the husband. I know all these things, we do them for the good of the family. And when we do this, we remind ourselves that let us not think that maybe we are better off than the other, but we are here what would I say, to be compatible. Yani we are here so that mtu aingiane na mwingine vizuri, so that the running of everything can be very smooth as it's supposed to be. So when it comes to bringing suggestions and ideas, please, for the women, the best way to do it is with the submission. I think we were just talking about submission the other day. So should be bringing these things from a point of submission. And when I'm talking about submission, I'm not talking about the place where you're begging. And also the men, it's not that when a woman would want to bring something up as an idea or a suggestion, then she has to really be on her knees. No, she's an equal partner in this. And whenever there is anything that we have to talk about, then let us talk about it as too much. When you're getting into a business partnership, not any of the two comes in as an inferior party. All of them come in as, the same level. So what we are doing is we want to do this thing. We want to come together so that we come up with the best. So this is also how we have the marriage setup, such that when the wife has a suggestion, let her bring it on the table. The man, can we see how we're going to use this suggestion to help? It might look as useless as it is, but as we usually know is that the woman has a lot to do with the family, because most of the time women, we look into those small things that bring up the bigger picture. So most of the time what we come up with looks like it's not very important at the time. But know what, man, whenever you see a woman bringing this thing, it means it is that small bit of it that if you leave out, you'll find that whatever you're trying to come up with will not be complete. You see, so once we also come from that point of view, you find that it becomes easier. When a woman brings something in, don't start telling her, sasa hivi vitu yako pia umeanza kuleta hapa, hata hazitasaidia. No, look into it. Please, can you put it somewhere? And when you put it somewhere, it will help you. And now that woman also, wakati unakuja na jambo, usikuje nayo as in, mimi zangu huwa muski. If you come with already a formed mind, you'll not fit in. But can you come with it, there's a way you can come with this, you really confirm it, but from that a simple way of bringing it out. Somebody might really not look at it and see it's a big thing, but as you bring it in, it flows and fits somewhere the way you present it. So women, as much as we would want to bring our suggestions, how are we bringing it out? Don't bring it from that perception of, nobody wants to take something that comes from a woman. If you already have that mind, you'll find that it is failing. Kwa sababu utakuja kama unataka kulazimisha, lakini ukikuja kama you're like, you're coming with this thing, maybe somebody might, or maybe the husband might really not want to accept it, but vile umeileta, vile umepresent, itafanya kila, yeye hata kama alikuwa anataka kukataa, itabidi amekubali na itaingia pale. So the best way to bring your suggestions and advices is with that submission in it. So once you cover it in that submission, automatically it will fit, because you know what, that is your part and responsibility in that matter.
Thank you so much, Irene. And my last question as we wind up this discussion, I will base it on one of the messages that came from our viewer, and she said that most of the time Irene and Sarah will talk about supporting our husbands, but how do we do this? So my last question would be, how can a wife, or how should the wife support the husband? In which way? Because alikuwa anasema that the husband anapenda kufanya vitu kivyake without including her. So how will I support him?
Okay. There is a way we can support our husbands. That is by one, if he gives us money to go shopping.
Yes.
We should do shopping that is actually needed in that family. We don't do impulse buying. So that when the man comes back in the evening and is going to ask, what did you buy? You're going to show what you bought. And actually, even he doesn't have to ask, he can actually see what you've done with the money that was given to you in the morning. He can see that there is food, and good food that was bought with that money. Could there is an exercise book that was bought with that money. When we are made managers of his business, if we are given 1,000 shillings, we need to multiply it to 2,000. We don't come back in the evening with just the same 1,000 we are given, or less money than what we were given, because wives, we are good managers of the family. And she is saying, my husband does not allow me to manage his, or to manage him actually. The question I'd also ask to pose to the viewer is, has your husband ever given you something to manage and you mismanaged until the trust was broken? Because if we trust the, if we make the trust of our husband on us to break, we really entrust him with anything else. When trust is broken, everything is broken. So if it was trust that was broken because of mismanagement, you as a woman, again, you need to go back to yourself and go back to what we are saying, submission. You have to begin afresh again. Realize where the mistake came in. And again, if you want to be involved in his work so that you're able to help him manage the family, I always say, look for the right time when you are having breakfast, or when you're having supper, or when you're having lunch, and bring up that topic that you want to bring, so that you may know why your husband is not trusting you with management of his property. Find out whether there is insecurities. Find out whether there is outside interference, whereby your man is normally told, if you leave your woman to be in charge of your property, it is going to go to her family members and be left with nothing, because outside interference again is also breaking the marriage unit or the family unit. So you can help to manage his work by first managing him. You manage his thoughts, and it is easy for a woman to manage the thoughts of the husband. And then when you're able to manage his thoughts and his emotions, don't hurt his feelings. Emotions are feelings. Don't hurt his feelings. Do not be angry with him for those even smallest things. Be patient with him. So you're able to manage one, his thought and his body. You manage even his body. Physically, emotionally, and everything. You manage his body. If you're able to manage a man, his body, and also you must cook for him good food for him to eat, you can be able to manage even his work, because he's going to entrust you with his business and with his everything. But if you prove that you cannot be entrusted even by cooking for him, how will he trust you with his business? You get? If you cannot take care of his home, that is sweeping, that is make sure that when visitors come, you there to attend to them. You cannot even take care of the children, and you cannot take care of yourself. How will he trust you? So women, let us run first take care of ourselves, emotionally and physical wise. And let us run take care of our children. Let us take care of our families, and he's going to entrust us with his business. And when he give you money, if he give you 1,000 shillings, be accountable. What did you do with that 1,000 shillings? And if your man comes from the workplace and you take his coat and you go hang it, do not take his man. You may think haelewi ni pesa gapi ziko kwa jacket yake, so you think there are so many thousands. You go and pluck one and you think he's not going to realize. The moment he realizes that you took 1,000 from his pocket, will you ever trust you to manage his businesses or his family? He will never trust you. So it is as women to realize where do we go wrong in this management of our husband and his work, and then we correct it from there. Yeah.
Well, I think you really explained it very nicely. So to you, Irene, how should women support their husbands, based on the viewer's question that I just mentioned?
Okay, basically, yes. Yeah. So the thing is that a woman comes in as a companion to the man or the husband. So when this happens, then it means, when you're a companion, it means you complete the other person. And I don't think you can complete that person if you really don't know what they're up to, you see. So as the viewer was talking about it, that, the man goes ahead and does his own things, then it means she's not included in this. And, once you're not included, it means now how do you become a companion? You only become a companion to somebody when you understand them. You understand their emotions, you understand how they feel. You understand everything about them, so it will be easy for you to complete them. So the moment you find that you starting being out there like you really don't know what they are doing, then it becomes so hard. And as I did start by saying that a man is the leader, and a leader is somebody who is always at the top for us to look at him or her and then do exactly as him or her is doing. But when you find that you are this husband who doesn't, give any example or show anything, then it means the person that is charged with the responsibility of doing things, looking into what you're doing, will not have anything to work with. So yes, this specific viewer is saying, now how do we help? The only way to help is to try to get into them, and getting into this person comes a lot with submission. Sometimes some of these things boil back to us because of the way we receive them. We give how do I say, when you say, for example, a woman, if you are so resistant, the husband cannot reach you, you always repel, like you make everything go away from you, autaki, utapata kwamba you want these things will not really get to you, kwa sababu you are so hard that if the husband wants to bring himself in, anapata kama tayari umejiklosia in also. So please try to open up. And how do we open up? We open up through this submission. So do a lot of submission. We know when we read, for those people who can read the word of God in the Bible, we know that we have the book of Proverbs, where this is another responsibility of a woman. The woman has to show a noble character. The moment you give a noble character, this thing will help to attract your husband to you. It won't take forever for him to come, as much as he might be that person who doesn't want. Your character will attract them to you. And when I talk about character, is when you can go out of your way to do things that even you feel, why am I even doing this? Yes. So when you do that, that automatically will pull them to you. And the moment you pull them to you, you'll find that everything is open here. You see? And this is how there are those ladies who have learned this, and they take our men from us. Do you know how? The man will always tell them how to help them. You see? Why? They've given out themselves and submitted to their lowest. And they've given out the character that is not even theirs, but they are going out of their way, to do what, they feel needs to be done. And in a twinkle of an eye, that husband is down on his knees and saying everything. I think somebody has read the story about the Delilah and whatever. I don't think somebody can be asking me to do something 3 times and I'm like tricking until they trick me into it. Do you think, what is this? Sometimes we think it is just 3 times, like, yes, do this, yes. No, it was not just a one day thing, like we do it 3 times. No, it was maybe years. But by showing your character, this lady Delilah threw away this character of maybe being a harlot or anything and came back to this guy Samson and represented herself as that woman that Samson wanted, until Samson even forgot about what God told him, that you know what, you only have to pick a wife from a certain community. He could not look into that. The good character of this woman enticed him until he was in his knees saying what he needed not to say. Are you seeing that? So women, if we want to help, let us start by even helping ourselves. Have you ever thought of, going just out of your way to do things? So that is where we are. You start there, my friend. Hata utauliza vile unasaidia huyo mtu, yeye mwenyewe atakuja kukuambia, I want you now to help me do this, and to help me do this. Every secret will be out pale kwa meza. Reason, you've presented your character nobly. The noble character is out. You see, that is through submission and love. That is just getting out of your way to do things right. I'm not talking about getting out of your way to do things wrong. When I bring out that example of Delilah, I'm not talking about that for women who are listening to me. I know somebody might just pick me out wrong. I'm just talking about, submitting, coming down to, your lowest, so that you can let this man get into it. Because we want to help this family. The bigger picture here is that we want to come up with a family that is presentable before each and every person. So what are we doing? Everybody has to sacrifice, come low, so that you can get the other person. And once you get that other person, it will be easier to work out this family, and the family will be the best that everybody would want to look into. So that is how the listener, you can help your husband out.
Well, thank you so much, Irene, for that point there. So thank you, Irene. Thank you, Sarah, for your advices. I hope that our viewers have managed to get something from our today's topic, the role of a man and a woman in marriage. And most of the time we've been talking about the role of a woman in the family, as a mother, as a wife, but I think we've never talked about the role of a man. And today I think that Irene and Sarah really explained very well. So thank you so much for being with us. My name is Rida Kering Chebet, and of course I was not alone in the studio. I was with Sarah Murithi, and we were joined live by Irene Mumbo Bushedi. Asanteni sana.
Karibu.
Tutakutana tena wakati mwingine. Have a nice time and enjoy the rest of your viewing.